So yeah, I think we can start and people can join and we'll let them in. So why we are here today? So I hope you all receive an email from Moita, and this email is basically for your next step. You are being selected for the next step, and now this is a journey. You will build your open source module, or if you are from startup track, you will build your product. And there's also a file attached to that email, which is basically how you can start your journey with Algorand. It has all the developer resources, GitHub repositories, video links, YouTube, and everything. Anything you want. This particular document has all these details, so you can refer to that document anytime if you have any issues, any problems. It will help. It has all the codes, all the commented codes where you can get that comments what exactly this code do and does. So this session is basically for to start with Algorand, how to build on Algorand, what Algorand is basically first of all, and what are the toolkits available, what are the SDKs available, and how you can start you can deploy your first smart contract. So over to Sohail sir. Maybe you can just quickly go through the Algorand, just 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will start that technical part. How we can build on Algorand? What's the smart contract toolkits, SDKs available?
So, guys, I hope that everybody is at least aware of what is blockchain and the basic terminologies around it. Because to build a project around blockchain is something different than your regular work. Your regular work basically talks about MVC, which is your model view controller or any kind of architecture apart from monolith you have followed. But here there is one more component from blockchain gets added up to your entire product design. So let's say if you talk about Algorand, the first thing is because we are from this particular, you can say product. So the blockchain platform selection is already done, Algorand. The second selection goes to your wallet selection because every blockchain needs a wallet to enter, right? That's basically your gatekeeper. So that wallet selection over here, there are two kinds of wallets we have. One is your developer level wallet, if you want to create. The second one is your para wallet, loot, and some other wallets which are possible. Now, again, when you select that, there is also a journey in order to whether to go with a developer wallet or to go with a para wallet kind of thing, where there is a third party wallet and there is a developer wallet, which is kind of a integrated wallet, which gives your users the experience of Web 2.5 and not completely Web 3.0. So I can tell you this with confidence that people don't like to switch from your website, go to para wallet, sign the transaction, come back, some other wallet, sign the transaction and come back. And that's why there is a huge boost around using the developer level wallets where the wallets are integrated. People like to use those kind of wallets, right? Versus where we require, like if you're transacting or something, yes, para wallet and some wallets are required. But other than that, you should be able to think that what your end goal or end customer or basically end users will be. Now, if they don't like to switch between UIs, then it is definitely you are going in a developer's level wallet. But if you are a finance, if you are doing something related finance, it is better to use this third-party wallets, which are very secured and your private keys and everything, they are secured and you don't need to worry about it. First step. Once you do that, the third step always comes around is gas fees and network congestion, right? So when we talk about gas fees in Algorand blockchain is pretty much the same. It's 0.001, which is somewhere around 2 paisa, 2 to 5 paisa you can consider. And that plays a huge role when it goes to any kind of product in the market. Let me tell you why. If you are writing only, let's say 1 million transactions per day, or even 500,000 transactions, that is around 5 lakhs transaction in a day, even if your fees is 2 paisa, that is 10 lakh paisas, right? So you have to convert them to rupees to understand that what is the amount you are going to get. That's $1,000. Now the point is you are going to invest every single day $1,000 for your just transactions. So that is a monthly cost is 30,000 rupees. So you need to be very sure that how much information you are putting over blockchain. If you limit that information, you will be able to create a scalable and proper solution. If you like to put everything over blockchain, just keep that thing in mind. Then reading and writing both will cost you, right? Then the third step is around network congestion, because in other platforms there is a problem that when there is a network congestion, the gas fees goes high. right? Which should not be the case, but unfortunately it is the case. But when it comes to Algorand, there is no network congestion, there is no rise of gas fees and everything. It is almost fixed. That is 0.001, right? So that's why you are safe. You, because of the gas fees, lower gas fees, your transaction, even if you are writing higher bit of information, that is also safe. So first is platform selection. We have already done Algorand. Second is wallet selection. Based on the use case scenarios, you can select the wallet. Third is because gas fees is involved. So you need to make sure that how much information you want to put over blockchain, right? And if you think like that, that okay, I want to put this information, that information, or every kind of information, just ask this question to yourself. Are you creating a database or a blockchain based journey? If you are creating a database, then okay, you can write everything what you want. But blockchain should never be used as a database kind of thing. So you have to be very careful while you need to what you need to put over blockchain. That is your third step. Fourth step is now like we know, okay, the platform is done, this is done, that is done. What is the next step? Like then it comes to technology of writing the smart contract. Now there are two ways you can interact with the blockchain. One in the ways of smart contract. The second, when you are going to, you can say, what do you say, without smart contracts or whatever information you want to put, you don't need a smart contract to write that information on the blockchain, right? So over here, what is the case is when we think that okay, I need to create an NFT, I need to create an FT, I need to transfer something, you don't need a smart contract. But you are creating a traceable journey of a product on blockchain, then yes, you need a smart contract. So you need to be careful that in which cases you will need smart contract, in which cases you will not need smart. Next point, when we talk about or after these transactions or with or without smart contract transactions are okay, we decided. Then resources, that means how many, what is the tech stack of your resources. So that's why we support Python. Python basically nowadays, Python is taught in the schools also. So it's not something a newer language you are your resource supposed to learn. They if they know Python, they can easily write a contract in Algorand using AlgoKit that we will showcase in a while. So that is the third thing. Today we are going to even give a simple walkthrough that what installations you will require. Anyways, I guess Mudassir already shared all the links with you and all. So if you suffer any problems, you can always let us know on the Twitter or the other social media ways. But point is, if your network, you can say development environment is ready, then the next obvious choice is choice of SDKs. So either you can select Python or you can go ahead with TypeScript. If you are a full stack developer and you know that how to write down a TypeScript code, then you can always go ahead and with the TypeScript SDK, and then you can even write the contract and then deploy the contract over the network. Once you write the contract, the obvious next step is where should I deploy? So there are three networks given to us. One is your, you can say local net, which runs on the Dockers in your machine. Second is your test network. And third one is your main net. There are two, three more, but for us, these are the three networks we are talking about. So local net, basically, if you set the complete development environment in your machine, it becomes a local net. But then if you want to test your network live, and if you want to share the code with others, then you should go ahead and do on the test networks. For about test networks, you will need test tokens. So you will need a bank kind of thing where you can get the test tokens from. So we have an Algorand dispenser also. So Mudassir will showcase the link in a while. So once you get the tokens in your wallet, you can transfer or you can do whatever transactions you want and you are done. So these are the steps involved while starting your journey, you can say, or from from conceiving an idea to making it a reality, right? And if you follow these steps clearly, you will be able to create something, kind of a DApp or whatever you want to call it. But if you ask me, I mean, true sense of decentralized dApps are not possible to build. But yes, in a way, because we are utilizing decentralized network, you can call it a DApp. So this is basically the journey you every developer or company or a developer startup, whoever you are, but you are supposed to take. Next important thing is about your domain use case or whatever it is, whatever you have decided. Don't try to do too many things at one time. I mean, everybody wants to land on the dark side of the moon, but only we manage to land on the dark side of the moon, right? So the point is, don't do that in the first try. Even we did not succeed in the first try, or maybe I don't know how many times the scientists failed earlier. But the point is, do not try to do too many things at a time. Try to divide I mean, whatever you are doing, complex things into a smaller pieces of code where you can say you can attain or finish those tasks within 8 hours or 2 days, maybe 3 days. This is for all the young developers that who are doing this maybe for the first time. So follow this routine. I'm not saying to follow that agile routine or something. That's okay. That's a separate story. But for you only, if you break a problem down to smaller manageable items, you can always go ahead and achieve your goal. But the deadline, the primary deadline is 30th October for you to get selected. So do not have, as I said, do not try to build something very complex that you cannot finish, and then at the end that you have to decide that okay, it is the time is not there and I'm not able to finish. That's why I'm saying that whatever you are doing, do it, you can say gradually but in smaller pieces. Okay, Piyush has a question. If we want to make a mobile app, how can we keep it open source? How will we keep the updates rolling? We'll need database and cloud computing as well. Yes, of course. If you are, see, basically when you are having a mobile app, so even if you have a open source or whatever you are using, you need to create an APK, or in cases of iOS, it is IPA. So you need to have the licenses, the developer licenses for both the platforms, and then you can manage the release using that same. But yeah, from GitHub, if you want to do that GitHubs and you have to set up the Visual Code, Android Studio and everything, and from there you can create a what do you say mobile application for Android and iOS. But cloud computing, yeah, because your mobile application will have some sort of API layer, so for that you need cloud hosting. But I guess Vercel, you can check if it is for free, so you can check some Vercel things also, right? So before we move forward, any questions from anyone?
So they also want us to go through the GitHub repository and how to register with Airtable. So
Yeah.
this Airtable is basically for we just get to know that you are building on Algorand. That's why we are registering your GitHub repository. Let's say currently you have. Let me share my screen first. I'll show you that particular thing. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, yes,
It's
visible.
visible. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say this is your GitHub, right? So you have to just go to this repository, and here you can create a new repository. Let's say I've just created this Algorand RTI 24 dev track, but I made it private for now. So if you are building something with your friends, with your, let's say I've created this and I've also added a friend of mine. We are working on this particular thing, let's analytic tool together. So you can keep it private for now, and you can keep pushing your codes, push your codes, send it, and you can also contribute to it. And when we ask to submit your particular piece, then you have to basically make it public so that we can check how many lines you have pushed, and who has basically contributed to this particular repositories, and what are the codes you have used. So this is how you can set up your GitHub repository. You have to just make sure that your README is correct. What exactly you are building, you have to explain with diagrams, maybe with some screenshots of your product. So this is how you can set up your repository, and you can keep pushing within, let's say, every 2 3 days or every week. So this is how we can uh, get the data you are putting, and how we can this is how we can track that you are doing we are building your product. Uh, and about the this Airtable. So let me again, I have to share that. different screen. So this is the document we have shared with you all, and this has all the you can see here. This is AlgoKit environment setup, video plus code, and then Python SDK, JavaScript. If you are building on Java, any SDK you are using, you can get over here. This has only Python and JavaScript, but you can get from our Discord. And this has Web3 auth also, how you can integrate Web3 auth for the authorization, for login and everything. And a few important links over here. So as Sunil sir mentioned, there's a this dispenser also, bank.testnet.algorand.network. From here, you can get a free algo testnet tokens for your local test and development. And this is Explorer, and this is our basically Airtable form. You can just click on this and it will open up this particular form where we'll submit your repository. But this is not for now. Keep building, keep working on your project, and when the submission will come, and we'll ask you to submit your repositories in this form, and we'll also again release another form where you will submit your demo video, your component, your GitHub, your teammate name, and all these information. So we have shared this just that you know that we need, and it will be required to submit your GitHub repository in order to get in the next round. So this is how this will work. I hope it's clear now. There's another question. In our idea, we'll need some data as well as feedback from our users. And then we are trying to use the data to improve our app and the model we'll be using. And for it, we need to compute the data and we'll do it offline on this one. Okay, I got it. So you are saying that these you are training some data or something. So that thing you can keep it for yourself, maybe if not possible to share that repository, but you have to share your if you are building smart contract, you are using JavaScript SDK model data or your packages and everything. You can keep it on your local machine. That's not a problem. But yeah, you have to put something screenshots maybe of your code or something. So this is how we can basically we need to know, right, what data you're training. So I think it's all clear. If you have any more questions, you can put in the chat box, and you can also unmute yourself. And next, we'll start this AlgoKit environment setup. This is basically AlgoKit is your Algorand toolkit from where you can start building your product, your DApp. It can be NFT marketplace. It can be your traceability application. It can be any DApp you want to build. This is how we can start. AlgoKit is basically a toolkit where you can get pre-built modules, toolkits, templates to start to deploy to run smart contract test and create modules. So over to Sunil sir. We can start with the AlgoKit. Uh,
Yes, so thank you, Mudassir. So, guys, this is the resource, the link shared by Mudassir or the document shared by him is a cumulative effort of all the developers earlier when we had we started and we experimented a lot, and that's how we like consolidated everything for you guys. So it won't be a challenge for any one of you, right, to start. But as in other platforms versus ours is directly a developer environment. So you don't need to have all the videos and everything will guide you. But today I'll just give you a quick walkthrough around what is AlgoKit, how can you utilize AlgoKit, how can you create sample projects, and how can you work around that. So give me a moment. My screen is visible.
yes, it is visible.
So basically, after your installation, normally you have to check like this, AlgoKit hyphen version. It should give you the version, whatever you have installed, right?
Sorry to interrupt. Let me just say one more thing that few people are like few students ask me how this will work. So as you get the email for the next round, right? So now you can start working on your project. You can push your code. You have to create a repository, and 30th October is the last day to submit. So till 30th you can push the codes, and then we will again check your all the details. So this session is basically to getting started with the Algorand. So let's say if you're already building, it's good, and you can start with AlgoKit. But if you have some ideas, now you can start building. And again, we'll roll our office hours calendar link so that you can book 30-minute meet links, and you can discuss with us what you are building in the ideation phase or in the coding challenges, or any thing you want to share, you want to discuss, you can do that. So maybe next couple of days we'll send our calendar link. You can book a one-on-one sessions, and so yeah, thanks.
Yep. So for AlgoKit to work, first of all, you need to have Python 3.12, right? So just check like, okay, your Python is 3.12, otherwise you will not be able to utilize AlgoKit. Then the next thing you have to install is ppex. So you can note down the versions, that these are the basic versions which will work perfectly with your AlgoKit installations. So three things. First, you need to install Python. Of course, there are Docker you need to install. There is Git you need to install. And don't consider Git the way if you are using GitHub desktop. It does not have all the tools for the CLI, right? So Git has to be a CLI kind of thing. So over here, that Git also needs to be there. This is, you can see Git version 2.3, 39.1, Windows.1. So this is Git for Windows. You can down, it is already mentioned in the video. Then you have Docker. So you can do the same thing for Docker. And Docker is there. Then you have Docker Compose also, which is required because you are installing, you are creating some images and all. So all these things basically are required to make the environment work in your local machine. But most importantly, you will need WSL2 also. That is also, the link is mentioned in the video and everything, how to download and set up. So cumulatively, if you do all these things, your AlgoKit works, and that's how you can start. Now, initially, what I do is normally I create a folder. So I'll go to my E drive where I normally put my code, right? And over here, I'll create a directory. Let's say AlgoKit introduction. I'll go to that introduction part. And then, Udasir, can you look at the questions meanwhile? Yeah, so this is the basic folder what we are creating over here. And then I will use AlgoKit init. If you don't know what commands to use, you can just write like this, and this entire list will be given to you. What things you can do, what commands are possible over this one. So you can see compile, completions, config, dispenser, doctor, explore, generate, goal, and all, right? So all these commands you will be able to utilize when you are using AlgoKit. Yes, Piyush, that you can utilize directly without WSL. If you're on Linux, wonderful, no issues. And are the steps given same for Mac OS too? Yeah, pretty much the same. It is just that the Docker installation, and instead of this ppax, you will have to use brew. Other than that, it is the same. So for Mac users, you don't need to use ppax. It is brew, homebrew or brew. And rest is like Docker, Git, and everything is fine. Linux and Mac users are the easiest one to set up because they don't need to set up this WSL and all. So for them, Docker works pretty fine. But specifically for Linux users, the Docker, and to add the current user profile to the Docker is a separate challenge. So most of the time when people are using Docker and directly on Linux, they get the Docker daemon is not running. So make sure that you know how to make that run on Ubuntu. And mostly go ahead with Ubuntu 22.0, which is basically, what do you say, long-term support, LTS version, right? So over here, I can see Algorand, Explore, So if your AlgoKit is not working or some problem is there, you can fire this command, AlgoKit Doctor. That will give you the diagnose or whatever the potential environment issues you are struggling with. So if you write that algokit doctor, it will again go through my installation and try to find out if something is not working. Why am I telling? Because people tend to have problems, right? So you can see that all the information is now given to me. So I have like Python is this one, but I have a different Python version also. And all this 3.11, 3.10. So all these Pythons I have already there, but I have 3.12 also, which is the current one, which is used by AlgoKit. So I don't face any problems. Then I can do AlgoKit explore. But before that, you need to make sure that your Docker is running. So first of all, go and check Docker desktop. If you have installed Docker, if you are on Mac or Windows, doesn't matter. Linux also, I guess this is pretty much the same interface. So what happens over here is, you can see that AlgoKit sandbox environment, which has 5 different images running. So proxy, indexer, conduit, Postgres, and Algodi. This is your main server, Algodi. All of these things need to be in running mode. Otherwise, you are in trouble. Otherwise, it will not work. So if you want to check, what you can do is AlgoKit localnet start. And this will start your Docker, local Docker images. So let us wait. Okay, so now this also sometimes you will get that Algodi has a newer version done AlgoKit localnet reset hyphen update. So if you are using, but the moment you do that, all the local net data you have created will be gone because now it will be a newer images. So just keep that thing in mind. Now, once you do that, this healthy sign has to be there for 6 Docker images. If you go ahead and check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry, 5 images. If you don't get healthy for 5 images, your local AlgoKit localnet environment is not working properly. Right? So over here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It is working. I can go ahead and check in Docker, and yes, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running items. So now my thing is, okay, everything is done. At the bottom, there is something written to you that AlgoKit Explore. So I can do that also, AlgoKit Explore. And this will open a browser. That is basically my blockchain explorer. So you can see that this is my local machine. You can see on the right-hand side, it's, just give me a moment. Right-hand side is local, and it is asking me to connect my wallet, but local net. So local net, I don't need to connect any wallet or now. I can do that. So whatever transaction I'm having, those transactions are displayed over here. Like 18, 19 blocks because I might be using for long. So it is 18, 19 blocks, which is showcasing. Now coming back to here, now we know that AlgoKit is started, the sandbox is set up, conduit, proxy, Algodi, Postgres, and everything is done. Then how to create my first project. So AlgoKit init is the command which allows you to have the, you can say local templates. So here there are 4 options given to you. Smart, depth frontend, smart contracts and depth frontend, and custom tab. Custom is very risky because you have to do everything on your own, which I will not advise at this stage. So whatever you do, either you select the smart contracts or you select the third option, which gives you smart contract and depth frontend both. So let us start with smart contracts. So if you enter over here, it will tell you that, okay, which language do you want to use? Python and TypeScript. Since I'm not a full stack developer, I love Python. So I'll select Python. Then name of the project, you can say hello world, right? You can do that. So let us wait till the time it creates, it pulls the data from GitHub, template, rendering and everything. So it will take some time. So it is telling me that what is the default smart contract type. I'm okay with hello world because since we are doing hello world only. So I'm entering that. Then it is asking me for 3 levels of template, complexity in code. If you are a beginner, do not go for production because that's a bit advanced code and you might not be able to understand everything. So it's better to go ahead with the starter code. So I'm selecting the starter one. Then again, it is telling me that there are 2 ways. You can write a contract, but then for deployment, you can use a different language also. But I need both the times. I need to write the contract in Python only, and I need to deploy the contract in Python. So Python. So template render is done. Now it is asking me that whether I would like to install all the dependencies. Of course, yes. So I'm selecting Y, and then your virtual environment, Y, poetry, and everything will be created. And you can see that this virtual environment uses 3.12 and not 3.11. And I have 3.10 also. But you need to find out a way to make sure that AlgoKit uses only 3.12. And there are plenty of Stack Overflow solutions for the same. So you can find out from there. And do not hurry. Yeah, this will happen if you have already installed VS Code. So you just need to wait until the time this happens. Now there are two things also over here that we will see two folders like this, root and hello world. If by any chance you are reopening that particular code and you have not opened this one, then your virtual environment will not be activated and you are in trouble. I'll show you how. So this hello world, basically, if you go, there is a folder called smart contracts. So expand that folder. There is a folder hello world, expand that too. And there is a file called contract.py. So this is a basic contract. Whatever string variable you are entering, it is just returning hello plus whatever name you have entered. So this is basically your smart contract. And you can see the name is contract.py. You can, if you want to have a different name, you can do that. This is just a default template given, right? So over here, you can see that from AlgoPy, which is basically the Python Algorand mix. Our compiler uses all these things. From there, we are utilizing all the codes. ABI method is the way you write any kind of methods. If you want to write a new method, you can always go ahead and do this ABI method from here, right? And you can have a new whatever function you want to create. Why ABI method? ABI is application binary interface, which is the blueprint or a skeleton of any kind of blockchain smart contract. So over here also that is the same. Then the second most important part is, okay, let's see your contract is done. You have done a very simple hello method. This deploy.config py, this is basically, this will deploy your code to local line, right? So we'll try to understand from here that this is some libraries and packages we have imported. But from here, there are three basically things you are supposed to check. One is, who is the Algorand client? That means to which network I'm deploying the code, right? Then indexer is fine. Whether you use or you don't use does not affect your deployment part. App specifications. That means what is your application and the specification it is also required to deploy. And the third one is deployer, which is basically your wallet address, right? So if you just go a little bit down at the line 21, you will see that in Algorand client is asking you to provide three pieces of information. One, Algorand client, we have already done that. Then creator means the wallet, which wallet we are going to utilize. That is a deployer, which is a basic local sandbox environment wallet. Then there is indexer. Indexer is basically to index the transactions and spread those transactions or propagate those transactions across the network. Then this line basically will deploy whatever contract you have done, it will deploy. So it will check whether the schema, that means your application, the smart contract definition is changed or not. And if it is changed, then it will deploy again. So you will get a new contract ID, or it will not deploy the contract ID again, and you will get the same ID say again and again. Here, the last piece of information, this basically is your calling of smart contract. So I can say that over here, I can do calling the smart contract. So first of all, we created an object. From here, we have deployed the smart contract. Right? And from here, I'm just utilizing it. How I am utilizing? So I've created a variable. I passed the variable value world, right? But I'll change that to Algorand. So response app underscore client dot hello. Hello is my smart contract function. We just check that. Over there, I'm passing the argument. And then from here, it's just logging out in Python. contract name. So whatever contract name is there generated, the ID, and what is the value which we have received, right? So this is some basic functionality of your deploy code. Now, if you just select this file and just click on these three dots, and either you can use a terminal or because since over the years every developer becomes a little bit lazy, so just click on this one and click on start debugging. It will automatically pick up this file. There is a script inbuilt in every template of Algorand, and this script will deploy your code, start your local net, and deploy your code over there by default. So wait till the time you either end up into an error, or either you end up into a code deployed over the network. This will take time. So again, don't hurry, wait. So this is your ABI generated. Hello world arc32 JSON is your ABI file. So if you want to share with your friend or something, you can share that file so that they can utilize them. Now you can see that this is your deployer wallet, EPYER. It was the hello world we are deploying for the first time. So that the application ID or the smart contract address is now 1019. And then we called that hello, the function hello, and we received hello Algorand, right? So this is how you can deploy your simple smart contract over the network. But how do I know that, okay, this is not just a made up message over the CLI? So open that browser, which you have just seen, this AlgoKit LoRa. And you can see that now the newer blocks are also there, 19 and 20. And if you go ahead and see that the app ID is 1019. So can I search that 1019? Yes. And it's an application, and you can see that this is the creator wallet. The account is this one. And there is a transaction over here, application call, and there is a gas fees. So if you select these transactions, you will be able to see what was there. Hello Algorand, right? So this is how you can see that whatever you have deployed, it gets deployed over the local net, right? Okay, guys, any questions, anyone in the entire journey? Guys, this should be interactive. This should not become a monologue because you guys need to do. Any questions, anyone? All right. So now if you want to, you can say if you want to deploy or add a new contract, new function, you can just do this one, ABI method. Like as I explained earlier, you can have hello world instead of just hello, right? And we can do the same thing, but the different return message. So different, let's say, hello from Sunil to whatever you are entering, right? So different message we are returning. So same thing, but a different message altogether. You can save this method. Now this becomes your hello world, a different method than hello. But if you want to deploy this code with the front end, you need to have your ABI file. So how can you find your ABI file? There is a folder called artifacts now. So if you just expand that artifacts folder and you go ahead and this one, arc32, you will be able to see your ABI file over here. So these are all, you can see hello world method, contract name is, hello world is your name. Then the method is hello. It requires string variable kind of name is type. But the challenging part is I don't see the hello world method yet. Why? Because this contract is just made, not deployed. That means the artifact is not generated, right? So normally what should be done? Just a second. This is typical problem of Zoom. So if you ask me, I'll just note down the steps. First of all, develop the journey recorded or should be recorded on blockchain. right? That is your first step. That will tell you that whether you require smart contract or you don't. Second, wallet selection. Then your smart contract deployment. Deployment means local net first. That is your sandbox. And then your developer or test net, right? Don't go to your main network till now. So that is your deployment. Then basically interaction. Now interaction is basically interaction with dev. Now interaction with dev involves two steps. First, over the dev also wallet creation or wallet selection. And then second step is your smart contract interaction, right? So these are the steps you are supposed to build whenever you are building an application with any kind of blockchain, not just Algorand, any kind of blockchain. So over here, if you are was creating or asking about mobile applications, so mobile applications also you can utilize the same methodology, right? So over there, because mobile applications you cannot test on sandbox, so it's mandatory for you to test over the test networks. So over here, these are the basic steps you should take while you are developing over any kind of blockchain platforms. If I install AlgoKit, will it automatically? No. The steps basically involves that install Python 3.12. Then you need to install Git. Then you need to install ppex. Then you need to install, if I'm not wrong, the Docker. And order is not important, but yeah, you cannot install ppex before Python. So Python should be the first one, then the rest you can manage. Docker and Docker Compose both for safer side. And then at the end, you will be able to install Algorand. So these are the steps involved while setting up a development environment locally. So there is a video, I guess, only recorded by me only, which will give you a complete idea of how to take this first step of installation. And there is a document also. Mudassir can share the document with you guys. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. So this is done. We have created this other application or other function over here. Thanks, Piyush. So this is done. But again, I'm not able to see in my R32. So what will I do? I'll just save everything first of all. This is very annoying. Zoom floater. And then I'll go again, run and start debugging. Let's see what happens. So do we get 1019 or do we get a newer number? Let us see that. So now you can see the application is different. It is detected a teal update in app 1019. That's why they have deployed a newer one. And Hello World 1.1 and deployed successfully with 1021. It is not compulsory to work on a mobile app for this. Yeah, web app is also considered. No, not a problem around that. It is mandatory for anybody to create a mobile application. Any kind of application is fine. And I'll believe that web app is much easier rather than to go ahead with a mobile application, right? So over here, what are we doing? This is like, you can see at the bottom, Algorand, and I'm still receiving Algorand. But I'm not able to receive the code which I have written, this one. Why? Simple. We have not called it. Let me just pull this down. So if you go ahead and check the deploy config part, we have just called the hello and not the hello world. So what we can do is we can just repeat this code. because it is pretty much the same for both the items. But instead of hello, this time I'll go to contract and see what is my definition is hello world. I'll go ahead, come back over here and I'll paste the name, the value over here, right? And then again, name is fine because both the values are pretty much the same, right? Only just the name is different and the value is different. So without changing anything, can I execute? So let us save this code. Let me just extend this one so everybody can see and let us try to run one more time. So yes, you can see that. But this time it did not deploy something. It is just utilizing the 1021 only. And both the messages are there, like hello from Sunil to Algorand and hello Algorand. That means we were able to call both the application, both the functions, right? And if you go ahead and see that JSON file now, you can see that there are now two functions over here, hello and hello world, right? So basically, you need to make sure that whenever you do a contract and you change the contract, replace these JSON files, because 5 out of 10 times people tend to forget and they don't understand why the code is not working, right? So basically, you need to make sure that you have changed the code. Otherwise, no matter how hard you try, you will always end up into an error. So this is the first step towards making your simple interaction with your smart contract. You deploy the smart contract and you utilize them. I told you that there might be a separate problem while working with this deployment. So what I'll do is I'll close this one, right? I'll open the code one more time. And okay, this is not what I expected. So let me just open the folder. So open folder. I'll go to, yeah, I guess we are in the hello world only. I'll go to the introduction. Okay. And I'll open this folder. And this time, everything is as it is, like your smart contract, your hello world, the contract.py. Yes, everything is as it is, right? Nothing is changed over here. But when you try to run this one, see what happens. It can work also, huh, guys. But mostly it doesn't work. It gives an error. But let's see. Yeah, it worked. But if it doesn't work, and if the reason behind it worked is because this PS, that means one environment is already opened up and from there only I have opened the second code. That's why it worked, right? But when it will not work, the virtual environment which is created, if you go ahead in this Explorer, there is this folder, VENV. If you expand that folder and if you go to scripts, these are all basically activation of your virtual environment in the machine. So if you select this one, which is basically a PS file, I guess, activate, no, this one, activate.ps1, this one. So for Windows, this file is called. And if this file is called and your virtual environment is selected, you will end up into no error. But if you selected and if you suddenly your code stops working, very simple thing. What you need to do is open file, go to projects, hello world, I'll go kit introduction, hello world. And there is something called this code workspace, hello world dot code dash workspace. Open that. Oh, okay. Instead of folder, I had to open that, but I opened that. But here, open workspace from file. So this you need to open. And that will open your root also. See. So this will not give you any kind of error. So by mistake, this happens, even happened with me. When suddenly my code stopped working and I did not realize that the root is not loaded. That's why my virtual environment is different. And I just got the error that, okay, the AlgoKit SDK is not installed and all. Clear? Any doubts, anybody? Good. All right. So now let us take the next step. So I'll open this one. Let me just put this over there. And let us see what other things can be done using AlgoKit. So AlgoKit init. Now over here again, I'll go with now smart contracts we've already done. So we can go ahead with this one. Smart contracts and depth front end. So I can do that. And then it is telling me that which language you want to use, right? So Python or the TypeScript. But over here, don't do that front end, back end different. Slightly, sometimes it creates a problems for interaction between these two. So normally you should go ahead with TypeScript. I don't work with TypeScript, so I have no idea. So let's see how it behaves. So hello world is already done. So let's say hello TypeScript. So now this will have both the things, your smart contract as well as your front end to interact with the your smart contract. So over here, I'm just okay with starter template. Hello world is fine. But this will take a bit of time. Why? Because it will render everything from Git templates, and then it will create both the copies for you, your TypeScript, your front end, and your smart contract, both. So just wait. Yes, this will take some time because of too many libraries, packages, whatever we have done. Don't worry, it is not frozen. It is just taking some time to produce the list. And it is not Windows, so we cannot see those bars. So don't panic. You have to wait. Yeah, so now it has started. Some deprecated warnings, which is a common thing with NPM. So now it is installing whatever the dependencies required from package JSON. I have experience in coding Solidity for contract. Which language should I choose to write? See, if you have already experience in terms of Solidity, but it will not be very useful over here because the way of writing the contract in Algorand is quite different to your uh, you can say Solidity background. But yes, if you are very new to this kind of Python, then you can go ahead with TypeScript. But if you are capable of handling Python, then I will select Python. And Harshit, no need to worry about deprecation. That is standard NPM problem. It is there in every kind of machine, so don't worry. So Adi, I'll if depending on your contract's complexity, if it is very complex, go ahead with TypeScript. Otherwise, I believe in a decoupled architecture where I want to bifurcate my front end and back end separately. So I normally go ahead with Python-based smart contracts. Uh, I guess Kirtana Mudassir will give a link later on. Mudassir, I guess we will be able to provide the recording also later on, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll upload on YouTube or something, and then we'll share it.
Okay. So see guys, it is now created for you, your front end, back end, everything. And I believe this is the only kit which is capable of doing that, of generating your front end and your smart contract both. And now we'll see again, we have root, but now we have two folders. One is your Hello TypeScript contracts, the other is your Hello TypeScript front end. If you expand contracts folder, you go to contracts. If you go to this Hello World Algo TS, you can see there is a contract given to you. Get some is an unsigned integer A and B, and of course, it is just calculating the addition and returning that, and get difference and do math or whatever the other function says there. If you go ahead and select the artifacts file, still because we have not published, it is the JSON file is not generated. Then if you go ahead and see that over here, if you expand this front end part, so this front end part basically is, you can say this contract is there, but empty. Why? Because you have not deployed yet anything. So over here, I believe this is the main file, main TSX, Mudassir. Yes,
Yes.
this is the main file, home TSX. So this particular home TSX will you are able to run and you are able to interact with. So let's see. I can just click the run part, right? Like the previous one, start debugging. Let's see what it gives us. Siri, it was the question for not you. Sorry, not for you. So it is started, debugger attached. Let's see what is it giving to us. But has it
Yes,
deployed
it's
anything?
live. It's local net 5173.
So this is basically no, but the contract is not there, no, because that was
First, you have to go to contract folder and
yes,
you deploy, and then again you have to start.
yes. So I need to stop this one and I need to run this one first. So I guess the contract needs to be deployed first, correct? But it goes to front end only rather than
Yes.
this one.
So cd and dot you have to go back and then come to this contract.
Wait. Yeah. I need to do this one. Terminal and new terminal. It will ask me for contract. So
Yes,
yes. Yeah, over here. What should I write now?
npm run build and then deploy.
npm run build. Yes, so this is now, I guess, yes, compile contract is done. I'll go to yes. And in the artifacts folder, something needs to be created. Where is my artifacts folder? Here. Yes, now it is done. It is generated. So do I need to deploy or build is fine?
Yeah, yeah, we have to deploy.
Okay. So, okay, operation completed successfully. Now I need to deploy.
Local net.
Uh-oh. So I need to write local net. No, I guess it is missing deploy. Oh, I'm right. Missing script deploy.
Can you do from the
Wait.
debugger?
Yeah. No, no. I guess we need to go ahead and check in that JSON, no, whether which script is mentioned over there. Build test, build actually generate client link. I guess test. No, it is already done. So code is compiled, but it is not deployed right now, right? If I'm not wrong, because here we don't have the deploy script. So deploy cannot work.
Is it compiled correctly?
Compile is compile contract generate client, I guess. This is the one should be called, not deploy. So it will generate the client. Generate client. Okay. No, let us try the other one. No? Let's see. Run that one. Because we have already compiled, maybe it picks up from there and deploys. Now let us see whether we are able to see anything or we need to generate that. Come on. Yeah, opened. Yes. So we compiled and now we are able to see this code. Now you can click on this wallet connection and you can see some wallet is already connected for me, local net. So don't log out. You can just click on close. So that is done. And then you can have transactions demo or contract interaction because it's hello. So I can just provide any input like Sunil Kapadia. Let's see. So KMD password, we don't have any password, so don't worry. So practically you are supposed to get some result over here, but maybe it is not deployed or something. That's why you are not getting it. But technically the hello, that function which is already defined, it will be called and you will get this information right now. But since I guess we have not deployed, it is giving you an error. But basically over here, if you go ahead and check this one, close, you can see that the wallet connection, so that wallet is picked up from your local net. And if you open that, it will tell you that, okay, this wallet or whatever the wallet address it is there, how much algo it has, and whatever the account, the other details of transactions and everything, right? So this is basically the way you can work around this one. But I believe over here somewhere it is in the readmd file, it is written how to make sure that how to work. So npm run build we have done. npm 2 can be used. Okay, so I guess this we need to do. Then probably it will work. So let us try. Let us keep this on. Let us go to the different one. Let us try one last time. Can we use React.js? Yes, Sanskruti, you can use React.js. This is React.js only, TypeScript. So operation completed successfully. Now let us go ahead and check this one by refreshing whether we are able to do wallet connection is still the same. So close, contract interaction, send application call, no password. Nah, still the problem is there. So how do we integrate React and AlgoKit here? So for that, there is a TS which is generated. If you stop this one, and if you go and open that file called front end, where is my front end over here? Here. And src, over that src, home.tsx. So from here, this file is basically your wallet, and that from wallet, basically your ABI is integrated and you are able to call. So I guess this is the file which is basically which gives you that app.tsx, where your provider, that means your wallet, you are coming from local net or testnet or mainnet, and then your provider is done. Then the second part is your network configuration, and then your call. So using your ABI file, you can call that. So all this is basically your React.js. You can see that it is TypeScript. So TSX basically is a React.js code. So you have to make sure that you select all these things. You have to deploy that code. And when you select this one, go ahead and you can say in detail, read this file. It will give you a better idea why it is not working. Or maybe, okay, I need to do this, I guess. That it will work. So let us try this one more time. So for interaction, you need to integrate your this artifacts folder where you have generated your smart contract artifact. And if you go ahead and in the contracts folder, you will be able to see that npm run build successfully. But then I need to do that. I need to run that. So how to make that work? There is a command written over here only. I'm unable to find that, so that we can interact with the contract which we have already deployed. Okay, AlgoKit project run. Let's say AlgoKit project run. Can we do that? No, it is. We have already done that build all and everything, so it should work. Run build is done, so that means build contracts and everything is done. It is just that it is not deployed, and that's why it is not able to interact with the contract somehow, because the code and everything is done from our side. Let's see, one last try. Don't worry, this is just yeah, no, this is not the one. This is just I'm unable to deploy the contract somehow, and I'm not very good at TS. That's why it is problematic. Otherwise, you can read the JSON, this read MD, and it will work for you. And even if you don't, if you, I mean, if you're not able to make it work, you can let us know.
Sorry, I was not there. What's the this error?
We are not able to connect with the contract. It is giving undefined contract.
So like, did you have you deployed it?
The contract folder.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've gone to here, this PowerShell, and over there I have run npm build 2. So npm run build. You told me something to use like this one. So I did this also, npm run generate client, which is basically used. Then I did this also. This also worked fine. So the contract is built. It is running.
Yes.
The TS is also generated, but somehow it is not able to connect with the deployed code.
In your that front end, is it selected the local net wallet, or
Yeah.
you're doing transaction on the desk?
Yes. Okay. Let us do that also. Wallet and log out, and then local net wallet. Okay. Yeah. This is a different wallet now. So close. Let's see.
Can you first check this transaction name?
No, this will work. I know.
Yeah,
So the only challenge was the wallet was different or maybe something else, but it
it was
works.
from your previous instance, the
Previous
document.
instance, that's what
Yeah.
it was speaking a different wallet, right? So guys, it was just you can say RAM problem where some wallet previous wallet address was getting selected. So if something like this happens to you, just go ahead over here and log out so that you get a proper newer wallet address. And how can you find out? If you go ahead over here, you can see that the sender is EPY. And if you check this one, EUS, so other wallet is created. So
So
just
there are three
confirm
wallets
that.
created, so it connected one of them.
Yeah. This is the basic a new wallet which is created for you guys, and
Yeah.
you can see that the total balance is also very high. And if you go ahead and check on AlgoKit LoRa, you will be able to get that same wallet address over here, which has this much algos. Point two is minimum balance, and the transactions which we have just done. The application is 1027, which we have deployed, and the latest transaction having hello HHH. Okay, so this is how you can interact with your deployed code. So first, your smart contract folder, you need to run this command, the one which I've just utilized, AlgoKit project run build, which will build everything, smart contract, generate client and everything. And then you have to go to your front end, which then basically it will run your front end, and then you will be able to interact with your code. But keep both the terminals different, so you don't end up into any problem. All
So
right.
one more thing, sorry to interrupt. So one more
Yeah.
thing you can, so let's say if you already have your front end, you then while initializing the algorithms, you can choose the smart contract option only. Then you
Yes.
can create that artifacts, JSON files, and that you can call the functions from your front end folder.
Yeah. So
That's
what
also a
Mudassir
good.
is trying to tell you guys, sorry to interrupt Mudassir, but this
Yeah,
first
yeah, sure,
one.
sure.
Yeah, go ahead now. I was just
Yeah, yeah,
showcasing.
please go ahead. Yeah.
So this is what we have done. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to create your own code, just select this first option. And you don't need to do this second or third or fourth. Just first option. And if you want, instead of Python and TypeScript, you can do that also. TypeScript and then let's say TypeScript or TS smart contract. So this is now, instead of Python, this is a complete TS smart contract. Using ABI file, the artifact file, Adi. Because I cannot give the complete walkthrough right now, but using that artifact JSON file, you can interact with the smart contract, deployed smart contract.
Yeah. So yeah, Adi, if you work on Ethereum, maybe. So when you deploy a contract, you get a JSON file, right? The ABI from which you basically call all the function from the front end. So
Yes.
this is same here also. When you deploy your contract, you will get the artifacts folder, and inside that folder there's a ARC JSON file from where you can call all the function from your front end.
So basically this file,
Yeah, hello world arc32.json.
this one.
Yes.
This is the file which is your ABI file, which I have already showcased earlier.
So this
So
is
this
very
is the
similar
file.
to the contract, the
Yes.
ABI you get in the Ethereum
Solidity. Yes.
Solidity code. Yes, correct.
Yep. So basically, we can set up Algorand environment and then develop front end along with it, or also make a separate one and integrate Algorand later. See, Harsh, basically, the first step towards any kind of blockchain programming is first create the smart contract and then build your front end. You cannot build a front end and then based on that you can build a smart contract. So first of all, build a smart contract that will tell you that exactly what kind of functionality your front end will have, right? So first develop your smart contracts, deploy that, test thoroughly, and then start building your front end to connect with that ARC32 file. So you can see that now this is just a TypeScript based smart contract. Same thing, TypeScript, if you go ahead, contracts, again, in this hello world algo TS, this is your smart, right? So this is a smart contract written completely in TS. Okay, so there are three ways we have just seen. We have seen that contract just in Python. Then we have seen the front end, back end both. I mean to say the smart contract and the front end both. And the third one is your just a TypeScript smart contract. So over here also let's try, because there is no front end. So we can see that what needs to be, what needs to run and all. So instead of that, you can just go ahead and see the package JSON, which will give you that what you can do. So here the command is given to you. So you can utilize this one, right? And done. So it will compile your contract. And you can see that in the artifacts folder, currently there is nothing. But once this compilation is done, you will be able to see some things over there. And this is your basically JSON, which is your ABI file. And you can see do math, hello, all these functions which are there, it is now part of your ABI also. So this is how you deploy your code. This is how you interact with the smart contracts, and you can interact with your front end. Okay, any questions, anyone?
One more thing I just want to mention, that it can be possible that you are building, let's say, some analytic tool module which doesn't require any smart contract. So this is also possible. So you can just
Yes,
directly create your front end and back end, or any database you want to use for, let's say, analytics tool, or any module you are creating. So yeah, this is also something you can do it. It's
yes,
not
yes,
compulsory that you require a smart contract for that.
true. So you can study the blocks from here. The block is this one. Let's say this is the application ID. And if you see that, there will be a block somewhere, and that will tell you how to read that data, right? And that will allow you to read in detail, whatever it is. So if let's say if I go ahead and select the testnet, so this is a live network. So every time if I go ahead and check that the latest blocks are being created every single second. So if you open that, you will be able to see the transactions belong to that network. Now, since this is a very early, it is taking some time to fill, right? So let us go ahead and select some older block, this one like, and we can see all the transactions, whatever is there. Sometimes it is just, okay, this is one transaction, not a block. Wait. Hmm. So from here, you can see, let's see transactions. Yeah. So these transactions basically given to you, but block number, you can see 5 years, 4 months. I guess this particular website is going through some changes and all. So that's why you are viewing some things. But for main thing is this one. If you go ahead on any block, you will be able to see that block has what kind of transactions. It can be one, it can be multiple, something like that. So if you are making that kind of analytics tool, you have to understand how this entire block structure works, what is the timestamp and what you are trying to fetch, what are the kind of transactions, what is the transaction ID, what does from and to tells you, what is the type tells you, everything. This application is basically smart contracts. So if you are coming from a Solidity background, they have a smart contract address. Over here, we have application ID, which ultimately points to an address only, smart contract address. But for us, it is this one. And the important part is over here, we have box transaction. We have, sorry, box storage. So you can study. Today is not the time to do that. But again, if you want to store something on blockchain directly, you can utilize box or global state also, right? This way. Somebody I believe, has created something like voting mechanism on Algorand. You can see vote begin, vote end, and some details are given. So this is how you can interact with your AlgoKit. This is how you can create codes, either TypeScript, either Python, or front end with front end and without front end. So choice is yours. So Mudassir, that was all from my side in order to take help them to take the first step of how to create installation and video. I guess you have already shared with them. I've
Yes.
already given them the version numbers, so they might have selected. And anybody guys, whenever you start, just take a screenshot of this or photograph of this particular thing. So it will give you an idea that what versions you should have. Just take a photograph, because if this is the versions, you will face no problems in making this work.
True. So yeah, if you have any questions, any doubt, anything you want to
Yeah, I'll just allow
discuss.
them to take the screenshot. Yeah, so this is the screenshot you should take from here to here. Yeah, now you can go to this.
Yes. So, guys, if you have any questions related to this road to impact, related to coding, office hours, anything, you can ask. You can unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand. And this is all for today's session. And we have already, yeah, recording will be available, and we'll share with you all soon. And even we have already shared that resource document. It has this session
Everything,
already
yes.
on that particular link, so you can refer to that also. And we also have a lot of SDKs support, so you can join our Discord. I'm sharing the link. So we have Dart, SDK, Net, Unity, Swift, Unreal, Rust, PHP, TypeScript, PyTail, Python, JavaScript, Go, Java.
The screen is not shared if you just want to showcase them.
Okay, sure. Let me share my screen.
So it is
I'll
not like
show.
mandatory to use Python or TS, but since it is AlgoKit and plenty of code is done for you, it was better to use. Otherwise, whatever you can select. Yes, guys, you will get the recording. Don't worry.
Why my
Harsh has a question. So yeah, thank you, Shreyas. I guess Mudassir has shared a document which has everything. We have that. We have that Algo Bharat YouTube channel also, right, Mudassir? Last when we
Yes,
started
yes,
that
correct.
Algo Gyan sessions. So if you just can you share the link
Yeah,
there?
yeah, it's already there in that document, so you can
Yeah,
also
then
refer that
you
document.
will have all the details about how to deploy, how to interact, how to even create an asset, send an asset, and everything around that. Every single transaction which you require is over there.
And I want to know how to smart contract.
Then you have to if you are sending an algo to the other user, so that's basically your DApp. Now a DApp, when you interact with a DApp, and if you are using your para wallet, then you have to get that promise object from that thing from your wallet into your machine. You have to go through that promise object to get the data. And if you are using a developer wallet, it is very easy. But with third-party wallets, I believe that's a slightly difficult task. But you have to study that return object, the response object which you get when you interact with any kind of blockchain network. So studying that response object, you will get that information to whom you have sent, how much algos you have sent, how much gas fees you have paid, the block timestamp, and everything around that. Yeah, thank you, Sanskruti. Yeah, Harsh, Buddha says they are like final video submission. How to
Final submission. So I hope we have also mentioned that what are the requirements for the final submission. You will require to share your GitHub repository, a demo video walkthrough, what exactly you are building, how all the function works. So these are few things we'll require in order to get to your node system. We'll share the document and basically the form, submission form shortly. Meanwhile, you can start building, and if you have any questions, if you get any errors, anything, you can connect. And yeah, as I already mentioned, we'll share the calendar link. where you can book your office hours, and we'll happy to help you in anything you want.
Yeah, so basically specific problems. Currently, today's session was just to make you understand what is AlgoKit, what platform as what characteristics are brought by Algorand as a platform. But then at during those office hours, let's say whatever, let's say you are building a supply chain solution. So how to build a proper solution, what sort of architecture you should design. So those things will be discussed. Today was just to give you an idea about how this algo kit works and whatever the other things you can or you should
Uh,
not do.
my screen is visible.
Yes.
So guys, this is our Algorand Discord channel where you can see this is your SDK support. You can go, you can ask your questions. And one more interesting thing I want to show, which is there it is. There's the kappa. So yeah, this is your if you go to this help and support, you'll find this ask kappa. So over here, if you tag at the rate kappa.ai, and if you ask any question, so give me JSSDK GitHub. So within few seconds, you will get answers from this particular bot. So this is very helpful. It can give you all the resources, or if you share your code that you are getting this particular type of error, so you can get answered from there also. As you can see over here, these are few errors they are getting, so it gives the solutions and links where you can go and you can read about it. So this is very helpful tool, and yeah, this there's a dev discussion. You can put your questions. We have our team over here. They can uh, get you solve your problems and your errors. So this is all. So I think we all good and very excited for the next step and see your submissions, what you are building. And I hope we all meet at our India Summit, Hyderabad. So, and thank you so much for joining today and getting participated. And see you next time. I think we are good. If you have any questions again, we'll
Yes.
wait for next 4 5 minutes and then we'll end this meeting.
Yes. Thank you, Harsh. Thank you, Vinay. And I believe now you will have better questions, better in terms of your related to your project. So that will help you a lot while maintaining the timeline of 30th October. Because we wish that every one of you manages to deploy and we get a chance to see at your wonderful creation.
And one more thing, I just forgot to mention that we are also running our CTF. So if you are interested in CTF and solving challenges, you
Yes.
can check. Let me share the link very quick. So it says cryptography problems and how to send transactions and all this. They're excited stuff. So you can check this out. CTF.
Yeah, people are still solving the first challenge. I keep on getting the messages
Yeah,
on my wall.
yeah. And there's a reward also. It's not like yeah, just
True.
have to solve. So if you solve all these challenges, you participate in our quizzes. So we'll conduct quiz soon. And if you are building for the road to impact, we are bringing 10 to 12 developers for the devcon this year, which is happening in Bangkok, Thailand. So you can check this out. You will also learn, and yeah, this is a very exciting thing. And
Yes.
these challenges are made by one and only. Sunil Kapadia. I think we can close. Hi, Mohita, are you there?
I'm Mudassir, I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. I think we all good and we are excited for the next step. And for this session, I think you can close for now and we'll do the office hours soon.
Yeah. Perfect. Did you just let them know that we'll send them the Calendly link? I know you said that earlier
Yes.
at the very beginning, but
Yeah,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
send them the Calendly link shortly. And we're going to start our Twitter space at 8 p.m. So, those who want to join us, may please do so. You can find the link by going to our X space handle. It's algo_Bharat. And if you'd like to join us, it's at 8 p.m. We are interacting with one of our ecosystem companies, FDP Connect, who are building great solutions. Basically, they're digitizing global trade. And I think you guys would really like to hear how they're doing it, how they're building the solution on blockchain, and how so many obstacles when it comes to global trade is being mitigated or rather solved by FDP Connect. So please do join us. And I heard you spoke about CTF. So CTF Challenge 4 will go live on Monday. Mudassir, can you drop the link to that also, the CTF form?
Yeah, already
Yes.
Perfect.
shared.
Yeah, and so today we'll announce the winners, of course, to CTF Challenge 3. CTF 4 goes live on Monday. So stay tuned. There's so much in terms of dev, resources that we're offering. We would definitely like you to make the most of it, like I was telling you even at the beginning. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the Twitter space.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Mudassir.
Mohita.
Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.